everybody. Happy Saturday. It's your girl, Suzette Speaks. I'm here live at the Seminole Hard Rock and Casino, where we'll be hosting on March 16th a one-of-a-kind women's only, okay guys, sure you can come, experience. It's called the Speak Women's Empowerment Conference. All right, yeah, we can clap it up, Get your tickets now on Eventbrite. Speak stands for Sisterhood, Purpose, Empowerment, Authenticity, and Knowledge. And we have 28, can you believe it, 28 now, dynamic women speaking throughout the day, including judges, attorneys, consultants, people who are coaches, people who have gone through some of the most incredible experiences and come out on the other side. And we're here to inspire you and hopefully give you strategies so that you can get to your goals in 2019. So, without further ado, get your tickets. Speak Women's Empowerment Conference, all right? Done with that. Without further ado, you know that the Suzette Speaks brand is about empowering women. And again, we have a little bit of noise going on. I hope you guys don't mind. But we are at the Seminole Hard Rock, so things are happening around us. But I'm here to introduce you to one of our distinguished, renowned speakers that will be at the conference. She is a podcast consultant. She helps people launch their podcasts in 90 days, 3 months. And it allows you to expand your brand beyond your wildest dreams. Please welcome Miss Gayon Nicole Bramwell. Yes, I'm so excited. In full disclosure, I know Gayon in real life. So when I thought about who are we going to have speak to these women during this empowerment conference, she was one of the first people I was like, you've got to be there and you've got to be a speaker. So welcome.
Thank you, Suzette.
So happy you're here. Yes. So happy that you'll be joining us. So, yes. Gayon, you do a lot of different things. Tell the people who you are and what it is you do.
Yes, I'm the founder of SheVenturesNow.com. It's my online brand where I encourage women to do work they love and to promote themselves. Yes. And one of the ways that I help them do that is by launching a podcast, like you said, in 90 days or less.
Wow.
I found myself on my own journey of looking for a career, looking for my dream job, and I realized that I really love speaking, I love coaching, I love encouraging, and I funneled that into providing podcast coaching and consulting services.
Yes.
So that's what I do. That is a part of what I do. I'm really excited to be speaking at the Speak Women's Conference.
Can you feel the passion, ladies and gentlemen? So I know that Gayon produces her own podcast now for 2 years now.
2 years.
So now she has turned to helping others start on that journey.
Yes.
So if you're a podcaster or you know someone who's interested, please show them, like, share, comment on this video so that they can get in contact with Gayon. So who is ideal when it comes to starting a podcast? I think everybody now has a voice and a story and wants to reach a bigger audience. So who would you say is the best candidate, or what does that person look like in terms of who should be starting or thinking about starting a podcast?
Yeah, that's a great question, Suzette. If you're an author, or if you've even released ebooks, or if you are a known influencer online with your blog or brand, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're owner of a business, and you know that you want to expand your reach, or that you have a message that you're passionate about for your target market, your target clients, then you're perfect for a podcast. Essentially, a podcast, like you said, it's going to expand your reach. It's going to help you connect with your target client base so that you can grow your know, like, and trust factor online, triple your visibility. If you know that you're not good at writing content, you prefer to speak it, then a podcast is perfect for you.
Okay, so those people who are like me, I like to chat. I really express myself a lot better verbally. I'm okay in the written language as well, but I do like to talk. Hence Suzette Speaks. So, so if you're that person and you have a lot to say, how do people know though that, for example, you have to be committed first, and you know that you have maybe like a schedule, maybe 8 shows, 10 shows, 20 shows, but I know there might be an intimidation factor that you may not have enough to say. Like some people think, okay, I can talk for an hour, but maybe not every week or on a given schedule where you know people are going to be expecting you. How do people get past that? How do you know you're ready to create the content?
Perfect question. So if you're not like Suzette, who loves to do Facebook Lives, right? Because I know, if you're like me, every time I log on Facebook, she's doing a Facebook Live.
Something like that.
If you like and you prefer to be more scheduled, okay, podcasting gives you that creative flexibility because you're not doing something live. You're actually recording it and then scheduling it for its release in the future. Secondly, if you're trying to figure out, okay, well, what mindset do I need to be in? How do I have confidence that I have enough content? Here's the thing. If you're a brand, if you're a business owner, and you know exactly your value proposition out the gate, you know the product you produce, you know the service you provide, you have content. And here it is. Number 1, your bio. is an episode you can do. Your bio describes who you are, what you've done, your credentials, right? You already use that on your business card when you're introducing yourself, your elevator pitches. That's a podcast episode in and of itself. Episode 0, this is what I tell all my clients. Episode 0 is your bio.
Okay.
Number 2, if you have brand collateral that you've already created, meaning a brochure about your value, about your product or service, if you have a speaker page, if you have a speaker reel, that's content that you can funnel into a podcast.
Yeah.
Thirdly, if you're very aware of your target market's issues, I'm talking as laser focused as the last conversation you had with your target clients, and you know their issues, you know the problems that they're facing, that's a podcast episode.
Wow.
Take one of those issues, write it up, make it super relatable, and that's your podcast episode. And then the last thing I always try to recommend to people when they're thinking about content and thinking about podcasting is think about the arc of your life, the compelling stories that made you who you are, and funnel into the type of business or brand that you're building. You want to take those stories, and you take one story and make that into a podcast episode.
Hold up.
Because
it sounds like there's a lot you already are doing.
A lot
about who you are, a lot about your life experiences and your business that is already there. So I think, and I love what you're saying, don't give away too much, you got to come to the conference, for the rest. Because Gayon is so giving and so open. I just love that about your spirit anyway. So you can already envision her as a coach, right? In terms of getting you to where you need to go. So the intimidation factor, as she's describing, should not be there. Because there's so much about you and your brand that you can talk about already that has this kind of built-in factor where you're not going to have to create from scratch. So I already hear about 5-6 episodes, right?
I do. Can I say something else about intimidation factor? A lot of times when it comes to digital marketing, you think about the online landscape of writing content. There's like 3 spaces. There's Google University, there's YouTube University, and there's Podcast University. The competitive edge with podcasting, in my opinion, is that podcasting touches those other 2, whereas the other 2 don't touch podcasting.
Okay, hold on. So let's get it. Let's get it. Okay, say it again. So you have these other platforms.
Right.
Okay.
So when people are troubleshooting their problems, where are they going? They're Googling it. Correct?
It, yes.
And what they're going to find is written content, right?
Yes.
But not everybody's a reader. Okay? So if they're not a reader, they're turning to YouTube because why?
That's number 2. I YouTube it as well. Exactly.
They want to see you, right? Now, not everybody wants to sit down and watch a video all the time. People sometimes are on the go.
Exactly.
So the competitive edge of having a podcast and being a podcaster is that you're catching people who want to tap into you, but on the go and on demand. And they don't have to lock in and watch a video or lock in and read something. Catch them. Now, second thing about the intimidation factor in particular, if you're not into video, you're not into the setup, the glitz, the makeup, and making sure that you look pleasant, you just want to record something and get it out there, podcasting is for you. Because you can literally record on your phone and transpose that into a podcast easily. Nobody cares about your makeup. Nobody cares about your bedhead.
Wear your flip-flops. You're good.
Exactly.
None of this. None of the ring light. None of
this. You don't have to worry about that. And then, if you know you're not really a strong writer, and particularly a blogger where you have to format it, you don't have to worry about that. Because podcasting is audio content. You get to speak your content. Which simplifies the process for you.
I love it. So I'm already sold. So we'll be talking when it comes to podcasting because it's something, again, if you don't know how, it seems like this huge endeavor, but as she said, as simple as on your phone. You can start, guys, and this is the year of let's start, let's launch. Let's not sit on these ideas that we've been dreaming about, sleeping and thinking about. All these things are inside of us for a reason. So I want to know what caused you woke up one day 2 years ago and was like, I'm going to start a podcast. What was that for you?
So the real story behind the story is that I hated my job 6 years ago, and I would listen to a podcast religiously just to encourage me that I could create the future that I wanted for myself. Okay, Steve Covey, I believe one of his quotes that I love and I live by is that if you want to predict the future, create it. And I would listen to podcasts that really rehearsed that in my mind and informed my perspective about my potential. And because Pamela Slim's podcast helped me so much, because Seth Godin's podcast, Todd Henry, Dan Miller's podcast got into my soul and it encouraged me so much. I felt like I wanted to contribute the same to somebody else who maybe was hating their career.
Drop a comment. Drop a comment.
You hate your job. By
For
the way,
those of you who, I'm telling you, going through that 9 to 5, sometimes it's a very difficult journey. And some people want to be entrepreneurs, some people don't want to be. That's not a critique of if you do the 9-to-5 thing. But listening oftentimes to something outside of what you're doing helps people focus, but also the big part for me as well was encouragement.
Oh my
so
gosh.
imagine you offering that to someone else. Being that voice, I know I listen to a lot of YouTube and on podcasts. On Audible, I'm a big Audible person. I like my auditory learning. So I listen to my books. I just listened to Michelle Obama's Becoming. She reads it. It's wonderful. But not to digress too much, but the point is, people want things to listen to on this on demand culture, in this on demand culture. So you being able to produce what you want and what your target audience already is, in terms of you've already had a business or you've already kind of been producing for people, either something that's written, either live events like myself, or whatever you're doing, you're just kind of creating a bigger extension into who you are and into where they can find you on demand. So I love it. So you listening to people also caused you to say, hey, I can do this. I love it.
And you know, for me, my life was transformed from those podcasts. I can literally list to you the episodes that really transformed me. But also, I think to a degree, growing up in the church, you're an auditory listener. You know, listening to sermons. You just something about the
wake
voice.
up. Yes. I connect.
Something about it.
I'm listening, Mom. I'm listening. Yes.
But you know, secondarily, for me, I knew that I had a passion to encourage and to coach. And I knew that I didn't want to be limited to time and space. Probably like, what you mean, Gayon? What you mean? What I'm saying is I got tired of wanting to have to facilitate a small group in order to encourage someone. Okay? I wanted people to, if they wanted encouragement and they wanted to look me up, I wanted them to be encouraged while I sleep. Okay, that on-demand thing was something personal for me. Because I wanted
when someone needs you, they can find you. You didn't have to be wait till Saturday until we meet up or anything like this. They can find you right at their moment of need. That's deep. That's good.
Or to create a certain type of content where if I can't help them on the spot, but I can shoot them an email of my podcast about something I've already talked about. I wanted to be able to do that. That was something personal for my brand that I wanted.
That's good.
And then thirdly, you know what? I just realized that in this life, if you want something really bad, you gotta make it happen for yourself. Make it happen for yourself.
What we doing in 2019, ladies?
You can't wait.
Absolutely.
You cannot wait for the funds. You can't wait for the best friend to get on. You can't wait for somebody to say, hey, I anoint you to do it. You can't stop. Stop waiting for approval. Just do it. So for me, I said, you know what? I'm gonna learn podcasting and I'm gonna make it a part of my brand.
I love it. So as you can hear her passion, ladies and gents, this is going to be just a sneak peek of the type of material and the type of real life strategies you can use to help market your brand. As she said, if you have a book, if you have even any kind of service that you want to promote to another layer in terms of an audience, podcasting is for you. So before I forget, I want you to tell people where they can find you. Yes.
So as you know, I'm a podcaster, so you can find me on all major podcast platforms: iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, Pandora. You can find me on SoundCloud, all podcast platforms. You can also find me on all social media platforms: Instagram, She Ventures Now, SHEVENTURES Now. Facebook, same thing. And on LinkedIn.
Ventures Now. Okay, very nice. So before we go, and again, please get your tickets for Speak Women's Conference. Again, we are at the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino today, just giving you a sneak peek of what's going to happen Saturday, March 16th. I really want you to talk a little about when you come to the conference, your view as far as the podcast numbers. When I talked to Gayon offline originally, when she started telling me about who listens and the actual reach and potential of this medium.
Good point.
I was like, whoa. When are we going to get started? So talk a little bit about who is listening and how much they're listening in terms of what podcasts are doing right now in the marketplace.
So it's very important people know the numbers. The nerd in me really loves sharing this stuff. 50% of U.S. homes are podcast fans. That's 60 million homes, 60 million people. On an average week, 14 million people are listening to a podcast regularly. Okay? 49% of the time when people tap into a podcast, they're listening to it at home. Wow. When you look at those stats, it really helps to dial in the fact that podcasting isn't just something people tap into while they're on their way to work. Even though 29% of people are listening to it on their commute, 49% of people are listening to it while they're at home. That means people are going to podcasts to troubleshoot their issues, for entertainment, for information, for just being progressive. They're tapping into a podcast. And then the last thing to be mindful of is the demographic. The type of people who are podcast fans are loyal, affluent, and they're educated. So what that means is you're not getting the average Tom, Dick, or Harry. Okay? Nothing against Tom, Dick, or Harry.
Yes,
but
I feel very special that I'm a part of that crew. I'll put myself in that.
Yeah, but from a business standpoint, right, it's very important
Yeah.
to be mindful of the channels that you're using to market.
Yes.
And if you're truly trying to tap into a certain type of person, you want to be mindful of those stats and what the research shows.
So last but not least, how has starting a podcast helped your business?
All right, so number one, I've gotten coaching clients from it.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Number two, from a networking standpoint, this is more intangible. From a networking standpoint, I've been able to utilize my brand asset of podcasting to connect to people from, different countries.
Right.
So internationally. Thirdly, I just got an podcast,
Yes,
right?
I love it.
Yes.
So,
And then it's triple my visibility. That's the clincher. Tripling your visibility online, growing my know, like, and trust factor is essential.
wow. So people don't only want your product, people. They want you.
Yes.
And the podcast sounds like the best platform from what the numbers say.
Oh
I'm
my
not me,
gosh.
what the numbers are saying. To reach people, because first they fall in love with you. First they want to know about you, how you think, your sensibilities. Who is the real person behind the brand? And then they seek more information about what it is you offer. So it sounds like this is the warm-up, guys. I'm so excited. Once again, last plug, make sure you check out on Eventbrite the Speak Women's Empowerment Conference Saturday, March 16th, right here at the Seminole Hard Rock and Casino. I hope you guys have enjoyed meeting our special guest, Miss Gayon Nicole Bramwell. Look her up, sheventuresnow.com on all social media, and listen to her podcast.
Yeah, She Ventures Podcast.
All right, we're so happy that you joined us. Please like and share. We'll see you again soon. Suzette Speaks. Gayon Nicole signing off. See you guys. Thank you for watching.
Bye.